yesterday that the Lions they're going to be up against it, man. They're going to have everybody coming after them. They're not going to be darlings anymore. We are a good football team with the hope of getting better for 2024. And we know that we have rankings. I can't believe we're here, man. Like power rankings and just play breakdown and game previews. Like we are here, man. And as a matter of fact, 2 weeks from Thursday is the first preseason game for the Detroit Lions. Like, just mind blown. I keep saying that this by far has been the quickest off season in my experience. We're talking about on YouTube and before. But I saw an article from Bleacher Report talking about the training camp power rankings. And where we landed at, actually, to me, is no surprise. Let me show you where the Detroit Lions landed preseason power rankings. They would be ranked number 3 behind the Super Bowl, the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, and the team that beat us, that made it to the Super Bowl, the runner-up, San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is a good spot. This is a good spot. I mean, our team has gotten better. We really haven't lost any pieces outside of Josh Reynolds. If you think about it, okay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, how much of an impact was he? Not really an impact. He didn't play that much, right? Everyone else is still there who made an impact. Jerry Jacobs is no longer with the team, but we already know what was said about him, like what he was. So our team, outside of losing Josh Reynolds, and hopefully Donovan Peoples-Jones can step up and take that spot, our team was kind of even going into free agency in the draft, right? So now we're better than we were before. But what did they have to say about the 2024 season? Here's what Hutch had to say, and I like this. He said, I think everyone has to put everything into this upcoming year. And I feel like for the years to come as well, because it's not our last year we're all playing. Hutchinson said, there's a lot of great players on this team, and I think we could just have repeated success over the next few years, where that is what we are looking for, Aiden Hutchinson, because we have been through it. Lions fans have been through it. We've really never had a sustainable, successful team. We'll be like one-hit wonders. Remember when we had the best record in the NFC North under Stafford and Megatron, and then we battled the Green Bay Packers for winning the division, having like the number 2 seed or something crazy like that, and that loss sent us to a wild card round.
Definitely
They
remember
ended up
those years.
12-4. We were 11-5, and then after that, we kind of regressed. That is something we don't want to see for not only 2024 but the years beyond. But why are the Detroit Lions number 3rd on this list? Here's what they had to say. Says, let's look at this as a training camp projection going into the 2024 season and envision how this season can develop.
And if anything, I don't only want to be, 3rd in Bleacher Report's, training camp power rankings. I don't want to be 3rd in that. I don't always want to be 3rd in that. I want to be number 1. I just want to be number 1. Just like any other Lions fan wants to be. I want to be number 1. Number 3 is okay. Number 2, yeah, you can be happy with that. But then number 1, that's what you want. And again, Bleacher Report can, label us number 3, label us number 4, number 2, whatever ranking they can put us at in their power rankings about our training camp. But then again, we're ready to take ourselves to the next level. I appreciate the power rankings and saying that, we're a good training camp power ranking team, but other than that, they can keep it because we want to be number 1 in the conference. That's what we want. This is just nothing but on paper type shit to me, in my opinion. We want to translate the actions onto the field for a long time. We want to be a very good team, for, years to come. When you bring back St. Brown, when you bring back Panay, when you bring back, Jared Goff and sign those guys to, extension deals, it just helps us, gear up for the next, phase. And the next phase is to get a championship, Let's go to the Super Bowl. You know, everyone's having that same aspirations. Super Bowl aspirations is like at 1,000 at this point, you know. Um, and I do like what, you know, Aiden Hutchinson said. You know, this is not the last time these guys are playing. It's not, you know. And these guys want to play all the way to February. They don't want to play all the way and end in January. They want to play in February, where the big game counts, you know. And just like Panay, I want the whole enchilada. I want it, you know. I want to eat. I want the dinner plate, the huge dinner plate that is, and that's the Super Bowl. And you know, shout out the Lions Syndicate, you know, for, you know, starters. I definitely want to give them a shout out. And, you know, that's my boy. And we have a very advanced roster. We have a real good roster. You know, a roster that could put us over the hump, a roster that could get us to the top of the mountain and get us to that dinner, that big dinner plate that I want to eat, just like we all want to eat. The additions are great. The subtractions are going to be the subtractions, but the additions that we brought back is going to make us 10 times better than we were last year. And you're right. Substantial seasons. We need substantial seasons. We need more of that. We need more success. And we're breeding for success. And, you know, the guys in the locker room, you know, they're all wanting the same just like we want the same. And, you know, it's all about how bad do you want it. You know, and it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want it? I know how bad I want it. I want it to be at 10. You know, I want my scale to be at 10. You know, 9's cool, 8's cool, but have it at 10. You know, and we have high expectations on ourselves. We do. And I did say, you know, Super Bowl aspirations is great. It's good. That's cool. But when you have high expectations, those high expectations can knock you back down. You know, those high expectations can knock you so far down and have you eat that humble pie. And humble pie doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on the plate. And it's not the kind of dessert that I want. And, you know, overall, we just don't want that. We have a tough schedule. We have preseason coming up. We have the New York Giants coming up. We got to go out to New York and play at MetLife Stadium. And it's gonna be a very, you know, a very good look for us. You know, we got a team full of unselfish guys, great character guys, and we're willing to, you know, go out there, work hard, and show them what we're made of. And we gonna do what mud dogs gotta do. We gotta get it out the mud. Get it out the mud. Just get it out the mud and go grind. Nothing more, nothing less.
The Kansas City Chiefs, he wrote this. Some dude who wrote the article says the Kansas City Chiefs are the top dogs as back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes gives them a natural edge over pretty much anyone else. We can agree there. However, L'Jarius Sneed is now gone. Left tackle remains a question mark. Rashid Rice faces potential league suspension. These little cracks can open the door for others to walk through. I like that, and I agree 100%. Everything he said, I echo that sentiment. Patrick Mahomes is special. He is a one of one. So with him, you're going to have the edge over pretty much anyone else. But then you have the other thing. Snead is gone. Right?
Snead being gone, left tackle is a question mark for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes, yes, Patrick Mahomes is the standard, okay? Like Stephen A. Smith once said, he is the standard. And the Kansas City Chiefs is a team that everyone's gunning for. All 31 teams, including us, are gunning for. And they have what we want. Again, they have that Vince Lombardi trophy. They won back-to-back. Didn't matter if they had no offense. Didn't matter if they had no defense. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have Travis Kelce. They have Isaiah Pacheco. They have Chris Jones. Impact players. Studs. You still got Trent McDuffie over there. Excuse me if I mess up his name. Trent McDuffie. I'll fix that for y'all. But, again, Kansas City Chiefs are going to find a way. They're going to find a way to make something happen. Doesn't matter what no one say. They're going to find a way. Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, who they just picked up as the 28th pick. They are looking to get better and better. They are looking to make a three-peat. This man, Patrick Mahomes, is 3-1 as a starter in the Super Bowl, with 4 out of 6 Super Bowl appearances. Appearances, for that matter. And he is a top 5, top 3 quarterback. And a lot of people are putting pressure on him to surpass Tom Brady. That's not going to fucking happen. Let me just tell you that now. It's not happening. To any sports fans, to any NFL fans who think he can catch up to the GOAT Tom Brady, no, he can't. Patrick Mahomes can be Patrick Mahomes, and that's who he needs to be compared to, himself. Not Tom Brady, because there's no one in the NFL that could play like Tom Brady. No one. Like, is it comparable to have a great head coach and a great quarterback duo like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? Yes, it's great to compare it at that. But individual-wise, no. No, because nobody can duplicate what Tom Brady does and what he brings to the game. Nobody.
Other like you said, the cracks are starting to show in the.
Hold on just a minute, my dog. Now let's get back to the action.
The City Chiefs. And plus, they're trying to three-peat. It's been known, unlike the Patriots back in the 2000s, and they didn't broadcast this, but the Kansas City Chiefs are a different team. So they're going to have everyone gunning for them. And don't forget, once you get to the playoffs, you only have to lose once. So that's all they need to do. But what about the Detroit?
Yeah, in the NFL, you only lose once. You don't play 7 games. Like the NHL, like the MLB, like the NBA. You don't play 7-game series. It's win or go home, especially in the postseason. It's not win or go home in the regular season, but you can treat it as a win or go home each and every single game, unless you're like the 1972 Miami Dolphins, who were undefeated and went all the way and won the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Yeah, that team played like they was like in a win or go home scenario every single game. That team was great. By the way, rest in peace, Don Shula. Big shout out to the Dolphins fans out there. But the Lions, they have a lot at stake. Okay? They have a lot at stake right here. They are one of the top 4 teams in the NFC that everyone's keeping an eye on. And they're up there with the Eagles. They're up there with the 49ers. They're up there with the Cowboys. Cowboys, you can definitely write them out. Because you don't know what they're going to do. They're very unpredictable at this point. 1 minute they're hot, and the next minute they just turn the lights off. And yeah, I'm still pissed about them robbing us in that game down in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. I'm still pissed about that. Thanks a lot, Jerry Jones. Thanks a lot. But other than that, the Dallas Cowboys are a light on, light off team. Light on, light off team. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are. That's what they are, and that's what they're forever going to be. And yeah, Cowboys fans, you're going to talk about your Super Bowl rings that you had from the 90s. I get it. It's all old. Okay? It's all old. It's not brand new. You know the old saying, out with the old, in with the new. This is brand new Lions. Not 0-16. Not 2-14. This is a brand new Lions team that's going to be a 12-5. Maybe a 13-4. Hell, who knows? Maybe an 11-16 this season based off the tough schedule that they have this year. Yes. Anything is possible in the NFL. This is not no gimme type league. You understand me? It's not. Nothing is given. You got to go out there and take it and earn it. Week after week. And by the way, I did hear there's going to be an 18-game season in talks. So let me know what your thoughts is on that Make sure you comment on that one. But we're going to continue this reaction video. And again, big shout out to Lions Syndicate. Huge, good friend of mine. Great dude. Yeah, but let's get back into this.
Now, before we get to the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers. Not sure if they had a ton of change. I don't think they did. But what will happen with Brandon Ayuk? If they lose Brandon Ayuk, they will no longer be the second in power rankings. The Detroit Lions will jump them, no doubt about it. Brandon Ayuk has the ability to...
Oh, I forgot. Before you keep going. Brandon Ayuk just recently attended training camp. He's now at training camp right now, as we speak, while asking for a trade. And let's not forget, Deebo Samuel did do the same. He asked for a trade and got his extension. You got Juwan Jennings. You got CMC. Deebo Samuel. Freaking George Kittle. And Brandon Ayuk. You have a very elite offense, need I mind you, with a 7th round talent like Brock Purdy. Anybody can look good with that offense. It's pretty much all pro, all right? It's pretty much all pro, but still, anybody can look good with that offense. I could look good with that offense if I played. But that 49ers offense, without Brandon Ayuk, they're going to be lost in translation. They don't even know what the hell they're going to do after that. Yes, you're going to talk about Ricky Pearsall and all that. I get that. But without Brandon Ayuk? The man who catch that game-winning catch, well, basically you could call it a game-winning catch, with Kendall Vildor guarding him. It was horrible. Horrible. It was a horrible thing for me to watch. It was painful. Every single Lions fan watched that NFC Championship game and felt the pain watching that catch. It was pretty lucky, okay? Pretty lucky to the highest degree. And, you know, I'm just going to be honest. A 49ers offense without Brandon Ayuk, it just would be lost in translation. Completely lost. They don't know what to do. They'll lose games without that. They're going to need somebody that'll step up and take that role and represent them the right way in the offense. Kyle Shanahan is a damn good guy who can make good offenses. He completes offenses. Not offices, but offenses. He's a great offensive guy. He's an offensive guru. He can change the game as an offensive coordinator easily. Hands down. I put him right next to Ben Johnson, who's definitely a great offensive guru. But in the meantime, between time, you can't leave out Brandon Ayuk when you speak about the 49ers offense. You can't.
The game, right? And he wants to be paid. 49ers says they're not going to trade him, but we've seen things play out before. They lose Brandon Ayuk, they lose that number 2 in power rankings. But what about the Detroit Lions? He continues, the Lions were 1/2 away from appearing in the first Super Bowl. Please don't remind me. He went on. If not for a couple of Josh Reynolds drops, they should have been. That is unfair, and I am here to defend Josh Reynolds. That is unfair. We're not going to put that all on Josh. We can blame Jahmyr Gibbs. We can blame, in my opinion, everybody.
We just took our foot off the gas that game. 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl, and we took our gas off the game. We took our foots off the gas. We really took our foots off the gas and lost a chance at going to the Super Bowl within 30 minutes away being from it. 30 minutes away from making that appearance. Do you know how big that would have been to the city of Detroit to have this franchise make its first Super Bowl appearance ever? Knowing that this team hasn't won a championship since 1957? And need I mind you, the Detroit Pistons, they were here in 1957. And you know where they all came from. You know where the Pistons came from. I don't even have to go that far, okay? I don't have to go that far. But you all know, all right? The last team that won a championship, a Super Bowl not Super Bowl championship, but an NFL championship was the Detroit Lions. Before the Super Bowl era. Before the AFL NFL merger. Way before that. You won 4 championships in the 50s and dominated. Standouts. True standouts. With Bobby Lane being your quarterback, number 22, you were standouts in the 50s. You were. We are. Matter of fact, we're standouts in the modern era too. We're very much standouts in this modern era. In this modern era, we are definitely standouts, and we looked at pretty damn good in this modern era. By the way, that's Jahmyr Gibbs. But then again, or matter of fact, no, that wasn't Jahmyr. That was David Montgomery. I was at the game. I'm mistaken. But overall, you just can't say the Lions, and I'm saying this to the haters, you just can't say the Lions aren't primed to be the Super Bowl champs. They are primed for it. Look at that defensive line. Look at that revamped secondary. Look at that offense. Look at the special teams. Look at the coaching. It's all there. It's written in the stars, man. It's right there for the taking. 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl last season. Hurts me to say it. Hurts me to talk about it. But it is what it is. It's a lesson to be learned. Especially losing a 24-7 lead. It hurts. It really does. It hurts. It hurts me to say it. But as Lions fans, we got to gather up together and let it go. It's a new season. 6 months later, we're talking about preseason. 6 months later, we're talking about the Rams. 6 months later, we're talking about the Bucks. We're talking about Arizona. We're talking about, Seattle, who happens to come here September 30th. When we induct Calvin Johnson into the Pride of Lions. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a brand new day, a brand new dawn, a brand new time. 2024 season. Let's focus on that. We could care less about what happened 2023. We could care less about it. Let's care about right now. Let's dial in, lock in, and be ready for this season. We are that damn good. You and I know that.
There's enough blame to go. How you just gonna single out Josh, young punk? I would not do that to Josh Reynolds. Detroit is ascending. Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta are entering their second season and should be even more dangerous. More importantly, shout out I'm sorry. Shout out to college dropout. Last season's bottom 6 pass defense has been overhauled with Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold now at cornerback. It's time. Well, I agree with it being time. I agree with the overhaul. But we're going to make a video coming up about what helps the secondary. I love how these people, and see, all right, it's that time of year, y'all. It's that time of year, man, when it's time to keep it a buck. And I just refuse. I'm not going to blame Josh Reynolds like that. That dude was clutch for us all. He had one bad game, a few drop passes. In the NFL, that does me. But are we not going to forget about Dan Campbell? How about kick a field goal, bro? How about every so often, Dan? It's okay. It's okay, man. Spit the kneecaps out. Just take a field goal, all right? And we got Jake Bates now. Kick a field goal, all right? And in addition to that,
which is a solid pickup.
We're not gonna talk about the pass rush. Ain't nobody gonna talk about Marcus Davenport. Ain't nobody gonna talk about our lackluster pass rush. I told y'all, man, we have the mystery men. What we have on our defensive line is Captain Planet. The Planeteers. We've got the Planeteers on our defensive line. You take out Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and DJ Reader. Everyone else is a Planeteer. This right here. Come on, man. Come on. Okay. All right.
Which leads me to saying that, with you saying that, it's like saying we need one piece. We need that one piece that could fit opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. James Houston, we're not going to forget about him because he's a very good, talented, DN. He could definitely, provide a spark for us. But as you said, without DJ Reader, without Aleem McNeil, without Aiden Hutchinson, we're just the Planeteers. We need Captain Planet, right? So we would have to go out there and get Matthew Judon. Make a trade for him. Marcus Davenport has trouble with injuries. He does. Huge trouble with it. Can't stay healthy. You know, and the Saints had a problem with that too. But other than that, I think he can still show some flashes this season. I don't think he could really be the healthy, productive, Marcus Davenport that he once was. I don't think he could. It's worth a shot, but I don't think he could. So when you enter this season, you're going to have to look at your pass rush and depend on your pass rush to get stops. Regardless if it's a 3rd and long or a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 10, you're going to have to make sure that this team gets 3 and outs. I'm not asking for it all the time like it's Madden 25, okay? I'm asking for 3 and outs. Strong 3 and outs. Strong 3 and outs. Each and every single way. Each and every step of the way. Strong 3 and outs. That's all I'm asking for. Create turnovers. Make plays. Carlton Davis had played with a Super Bowl champion. Not a former Super Bowl champion, but a Super Bowl champion that is Tom Brady. He's played on a Super Bowl team that knew how to get you 3 and outs. That knew how to do it. And yes, he beat Patrick Mahomes. That COVID year of the Super Bowl. He knows what he's talking about. That man knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing as a player in our secondary. He understands the game. It's the mental to be a champion. In order to be a champion, you got to think like a champion. You got to sleep like a champion. You got to eat like a champion. You got to talk like a champion. And Carlton Davis fits that. He is one of our great additions to this team. We can't leave him out the mix. And we can't blame Josh Reynolds for, one bad game. It's Josh Reynolds. He's going to get hot. He's going to get hot. And in that game, he was lukewarm in that 4th quarter. Lukewarm. But overall, I just think that we're going to have to do whatever we can do to win this season. We're going to have to do everything in our power to have 3 and outs and make sure that our defense is all about shutting down opposing teams. Because we don't want 16 points being put up on us. 14 points, 13 points, 23 points. We don't need that right now. We don't need that. We don't want to have ourselves get shut out against a team that can be offensively great. We don't have to want that. We don't need that. And have to need that, want that, whatever. We don't need it. We don't need it right now as a team. We got to push through that. We got to fight against that. We got to fight through that adversity as a defense. Make a stance. If we can't make a stance or make a play or make stops or create turnovers, we're in trouble. Come week 1, we got to start making turnovers. We got to start creating them. Trust me. It's all about watching film. It's all about watching film and making sure you can break down that film and break it down, and make sure that play is saved. That play is saved, and when that play is saved, we're ready. We bring our offense out there. They score the points. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
But that aside, it's a new year, people. It's a new year. It's a new day. It's time to get spicy. All right? Now, I disagree with just putting all the blames on Josh Reynolds, and let's talk about the pass rush. However, we have overhauled that secondary. Shout out to my hero. Overhauled that secondary. And it will be different. It will, but we still got to get to the quarterback. They will be much more sticky back there. There's no doubt about it. But 9.4 seconds is unacceptable. All right, so give me your thoughts. The number 3, heading into the training camp. Number 3. I will say this, man. The Detroit Lions this year, they are, you could already see it. I can already see it being on this side of the table. That if they come out of the gate and they don't pick up where they left off, which they should. The Detroit Lions, I can say, have been ascending from their very first game under Dan Campbell.
Trending upwards.
And Brad Holmes.
You're right, homie.
It took us
trending upwards
to get our first win. But since that moment, we have been on the come up. We had a very rough 2022 to start, but halfway through that season, man, we haven't looked back. And I feel like a lot of people are expecting them to let them down. Like, they're ready to be like, see, even though it was a fluke, that's what they're ready to put on the Detroit Lions. They're ready to slap the fluke label on the Detroit Lions. So let me know your thoughts, man. Do you think number 3 is a good spot? Do you think we should be higher? I think it's a good spot. You can't put us over the Kansas City Chiefs, the back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And unfortunately, you can't put us over the team that beat us to go to the Super Bowl. Now, if we were but I do like that we're over the Ravens. And the Ravens kicked our tail, but we're over the Ravens. I would assume that the Baltimore...
That was a 38-6 game, homie. That was a 38-6 game, homie. And let me tell you, that was an embarrassing loss for us. To go to Baltimore and have an embarrassing ass loss like that, it sucked. It really fucking sucked. I ain't gonna lie, that shit sucked. Real talk. Real talk. And again, shout out the Lions Syndicate, man. Shout out to the homie. But yeah, we have a lot to look forward to, man. A lot to look forward to this season. And like I said, power rankings from, Bleacher Report, that's cool and all. But that ain't gonna cut it. We want that number one. We want that number one spot in the conference. That's what we want. So either take it or leave it. That's what we want, man. But it's your boy, Chicken Nugget King, 586, here in the mix, signing out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and check it out. And oh yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend. Matter of fact, forget tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a Lions fan to tell a Lions fan. Get ready and subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to get the 500 subscribers right here, right now, before the year even ends. So salute, and I can't wait to see you this season. Let's go!